Testing, testing. We've got sound. Man, the little eyeball counter's already ticking away. I love you guys. Oh, wow, it's just ticking away. Climbing fast. Good to see everybody tuning in. We'll be with you in just a second. Oh no, we lost one. Come back. And I know sometimes there's some confusion, but we are in fact live, and we're going to start the intro in just a second here. But this is not a pre-recorded show. Do. And there's His Majesty with the first blood. Steve, good morning, brother. Good morning. All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit the stinger. Yeah, I can absolutely believe that the cat wants in Sergeant Major because it's cold.
Yeah, AF, as the kids say.
Like, it ain't as cold as it's about to get, though. It's supposed to be in the 20s tonight.
But yeah, potentially in the teens, single digits with the wind chill.
I was told to check my messages. I assume you're talking about a different set of messages. What did you text me?
I don't know.
No, Steve.
Oh. Steve or Steve?
One of the Steves.
One of the Steves. So, while you're checking your messages, man, you know the price on a whole bunch of types of whiskey is going to go up by demand?
Sorry, go ahead.
Like Crown Royal and Bullet whiskey and all that. Because, it takes years to mature some of this stuff, and people drank a lot of whiskey during the pandemic. Apparently, I dare you to go find Lafroig.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a few of the Scotch makers in particular. They're basically saying, sorry, we swear we're making more. It just, takes like 10 years.
Oh, wow. So that may be something we need to look into and actually do a story about for real, because I got a bottle of Lafroig upstairs. You telling me I need to put it on eBay?
Well, you have like a quarter of a bottle of Lafroig upstairs.
True. That's true.
The liquid campfire.
It is.
It is. It's all peaty and delicious. It's its own It's its own thing. Talk about...
Steve says McCullen 18 is now worth $300. Damn. Well, I guess I'm not having that this weekend.
Yep.
All right. So, we got some stories.
Firearms Friday.
It's Firearms Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
If only we had an excuse to talk about cigars, we could actually call it an ATF.
Oh. But I think that box of cigars there is empty. I think I took them upstairs and put them in the truck so I smoke them while I'm driving. So, Kansas City, Missouri. Have you ever been to Missouri?
No.
It's cold.
Okay.
It's cold.
The furthest out that way I've been is Iowa. It's cold in Iowa.
It is.
And flat.
Yes.
But they have lots of corn.
And if you're into guns, flat works.
Yeah, look, if you like corn and pigs, Iowa's amazing.
I do like corn and pigs.
Well,
so, Kansas City police investigating deadly shooting near 80th and Euclid. Kansas City Police Department is investigating a homicide near East 80th Street and Euclid Avenue. Police responded to a call around 11:15 a.m. Saturday on a reported prowler. The call was later upgraded to a shooting call. Ooh. Upon arrival, officers located a man suffering from gunshot wounds behind a house. The man was taken to a hospital where he died from his injuries. That's a DOT.
DOT.
Over Department of Transportation.
Right.
Because the government owns the ambulances. Except around here. The ambulances around Rockdale County are actually private contractors. That shocked me to learn.
Still costs like $500 to get
Oh, yeah.
one.
Well, funny, we've talked about this on the show before, completely unrelated, but ambulances, one of the biggest, a major driver of cost of insurance, of health insurance, is fraudulent ambulance rides. Dudes in the ghetto that don't live close enough to a bus stop will call an ambulance, say they're experiencing chest pain. The ambulance, by law, has to go pick them up, drive them to the hospital, right? And then they get up and just walk away. Oh, no, I'm fine.
Yeah,
But wait, where do we send the bill? I'm not giving you my ID. I'm just walking over to the bus stop because it's right there in front of the hospital.
Yeah, they used to call that...
Huge problem in Atlanta.
Yeah, Papa Sheepdog used to call that the Grady taxi.
Yep.
Like, people would call Grady, because if you say chest pains...
They're there.
They got to do what they got to do.
Yep. So, unrelated, but that's one of those that just, the depravity of the inadequate just shocks me. So, the homeowner told Fox 4 that she was standing in her kitchen window when the man tried to break in her back door. That's when she fired.
That's a good time to fire.
That's a good girl. Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is not far away. A pink pistol is a perfectly presentable present. So, that all happening minutes after neighbor Edward Rogers had encountered the man himself. Now, Edward, apparently you should have shot the guy. No, I'm kidding. I don't actually know that he presented adequate data for you to make that important decision.
Well, and it actually becomes less urgent. Okay, one of the reasons why we talk about be a man, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your friends, take care of your community, be ready to act and be a man and all that.
Yep.
Is because typically that's what men do. The great thing about having your women be armed is it legitimately takes some of that burden off of us. Like, no, you don't need me to rescue you from the rape because turns out you could do it yourself. A couple of 9mm slugs in somebody's gut might cause a little erectile dysfunction.
God made man. Sam Colt made him equal. So, Rebel Jack, I think you're a new viewer to the show. I hope you enjoy what we do here. Unfortunately, you missed the score on that last one. Here, I'll repeat it for you. He died at the hospital. That's a DOT. I still need to update that and add like a little cartoon ambulance going across the screen. And that'd be slick. I got to get that book signing off my desk before I do that, though.
I think you got
I got to go shoot houses in Griffin again today.
Well, that makes you money.
Douglasville.
I know where that is.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting paid for the book signing too. I mean, because
Right.
I pointed a camera at something.
No, you shot it. You shot it.
So, Rebel Jack, I'm glad to at least see you a little more active in the chat here. I tell you what, I was actually okay. Tangent, just tiny. I was actually talking to DJ Scotty just a couple days ago about a thing that we're trying to do with some comedians, and we were talking about like professional stand-up comedians. He's had them on his show a few times. I've done shows with professional stand-up comedians. Sometimes it's okay, Alex, we'll get to that in just a second. But I've done shows with comedians and this and that. When you're doing a live show like this, we don't have an audience per se, right? Obviously, we have you watching at home, but it's not like when you're on a stage with an audience in front of you and, they applaud and they laugh and there's engagement there, right? We are accustomed to doing a show without a live audience right on our laps, right? But professionals professional stand-up comedians who are used to doing a live show, they suffer when they're not in that element. They don't, there's something about the energy that's part of what they do. Now, here, when we're doing this show live, I think I have better energy and a lot more fun doing the show. Like, I do the pre-recorded shows sometimes, but when I've got you guys right here, the more I see you guys in the chat, the more it feels like we're having a back and forth and I'm not just lecturing a dead, lifeless, uninteresting camera. The more I've got you guys actually talking to me, it really helps kind of pump up the energy. And like when I see just some LOLs in there, and imagine your belly laughing, then that's a great cue for me to dig a little deeper on the spit roast jokes or something like that. Sergeant Major says, remember fishing with Streeter? Hell yeah, I remember fishing with Streeter. I would love to go fishing with Streeter again. And it would absolutely make my millennium if all of a sudden Sergeant Major Streeter were one of my regular viewers. I see Nikki's joined us this morning too. Good morning, sunshine. I hope Glenn's sitting right there next to you, because it would also do my heart good for this show to just be like, the Sergeant Major's Club live. So, now, for Alex, who asked, he said you should explain what the acronyms mean for new viewers. Now, I'm going to let you explain the acronyms, right? But, as you explain each one, I want you to start with BRM, move up to DOT, and then up to DRT, do them in that order, instead of going top to bottom. And I'm going to run the sounder, and then you explain.
Okay, all right.
So, sounder 1.
Okay, so sounder 1 is BRM.
Didn't play. Okay, let's move over here. There.
That's BRM, basic rifle marksmanship. Typically the sounder we play in a gun scenario where there's just a whole lot of epic fail. Okay? That is the weakest of the weak sauce of our sounders. The next one is DOT. That means dead over there. As in, bad guy gets shot, bad guy gets taken to the hospital, bad guy dies the next morning at the hospital from his wounds. Dead over there.
Oh, and Steve asks, did I miss something? Well, Steve, if you did, you should consider one of these. And then finally we have
the DRT, which means dead right there, as in the dude was just dead right there. So when we score things, like for the thing that we just did for the Kansas City, not Kansas City, but city in Kansas, when we scored at a DOT.
No, it's Kansas City, Missouri. It is Kansas City.
Boy, that is
You're
confusing.
Right. It is.
That is very confusing. Anyhow, okay, Kansas City, Missouri. So when we scored that a DOT, that is because the peeping Tom, potential intruder, whatever, guy trying to come in the back door, who was not welcome, died over there at the hospital.
Dad says he wants to see Graveyard Dead. I agree.
So, Now that we've got all that out of the way, can we, Uh-oh, he's writing a note. Okay. So Rebel Jack says I'm still awake, so he's still drinking brews.
Well, you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
I get the impression he means it's still left over from last night.
That's fine. Keep going. You got a whole day ahead of you. Don't waste it. So, I think we're done with this story.
I think we can move on.
Here, I'll let you take this one. Let me tune it up for the audience. And there we go. Shots fired in Pasco neighborhood.
Sean Stryker says, "Come in the back door." Sounds like a drag queen story time joke. Oh, okay.
Dirty deeds due to supply shortages are no longer done dirt cheap.
Hey, look, man. Demand affects price. Supply and demand affects price. Period. Okay. Shots fired in Pascal neighborhood after car drives through backyard. I'm going to guess that alcohol or crack is involved in this story.
Maybe meth.
Meth is possible. Well, no, I'm not going to make that joke. We're on YouTube. Okay. A dispute turned dangerous after two brothers got into an argument on Saturday, officials say. Pasco Police Department, PPD.
Wow, say that 5 times fast.
PPD.
No, Pasco Police Department.
No. Was dispatched to the area of North 17th Avenue and Court Street around 2:24 on Saturday. Officials said a man rammed his car through a fence and into the backyard of his brother's home.
Oh, dear.
According to PPD, the homeowner then fired warning shots into the ground. Oh.
Yep, we're in meth. Warning shots.
Yeah, that's...
No.
Yeah, no.
The only time it is okay to fire a warning shot is when you are dealing with a group of assailants, and eliminating the first one serves as a warning example to the other assailants that they had best choose to turn around and walk away.
Yeah, like the whole concept of a warning shot. Like, do you want to like accidentally put like a 9mm through a school bus? Because that's how you accidentally put a 9mm through a school bus. Like, there's...
I will fire 3 warning shots in a multi-person encounter, and that will be a Mozambique to the first approach.
Exactly. Because, look, there is no such thing as a round that misses. They always hit something.
Correct. That is incorrect. What?
Anyhow, so... warning shots into the ground, and he did this multiple times, too. At which point the man got back into his car and left the scene. The suspect who rammed his car through the fence has not been located, and officials are still investigating the incident. No injuries were reported, and then there is no immediate threat to the public, unless you're inside a fence.
Right.
PPD says they will not be pressing charges to the homeowner who fired gunshots at this time since preliminary evidence. You think? You think driving a car through a barricade might, just a smidge.
Catch someone's attention?
Yeah, I would think so. and yeah, so we totally had a Twitch person show up, which is awesome. King Tut was black man.
Good for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think like there's so many different names that are already taken.
Right. You know what? Ma says that she sent one, so we've only got about 12 minutes left. And I got to call it right on time today. So Ma said she sent one, and it's DRT. Let's do that.
Nikki's asking if we can shine a light on open border consequences, direct effect of Biden's open borders. Families, community are in direct danger from this administration. Yes. Don't worry.
We're probably not. We're not going to do that today. It's
but
not part of this format.
But we talk a lot about how much Joe Biden sucks. So don't worry, Nikki. It's just on Fridays. We typically try and have.
In fact, if we don't do that one for Me More Monday, we'll
Taco
that'll
Tuesday.
be Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. You want to read this one?
Sure. Okay, here we go. This one's local. Fox
Local,
5
baby.
Atlanta. Oh, dude, I heard about this on the radio a couple of days ago. This is good stuff right here. Deputy killed a man who broke into his Atlanta home, police say. Investigators say a Fulton County deputy shot and killed a man who had broken into his home overnight in southeast Atlanta. The incident was reported just after midnight near the intersection of Springside Drive and Macon Drive. Atlanta police initially responded to the incident. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is now handling the investigation. According to the GBI, a Fulton County deputy was returning home from work when he received a Ring camera notification that showed a man breaking into his home. When he arrived home, he saw the man from the video walking away from the home carrying tools and other items. The deputy was driving his personal car and still wearing his uniform and equipment. The deputy was coming home to a burglary in progress. After that, there was some kind of exchange. There was gunfire, and the suspect was shot deceased. Okay. I guess that's a sentence that has words in it.
In theory, it needs an SIC next to it, but yeah.
All right, and this comes from
Let
Atlanta.
me rephrase. I hope it needs an SIC next to it.
Atlanta Police Deputy Chief Charles Hampton Jr. Okay, so I'm just going to say that again because apparently this is a direct quote. The deputy was coming home to a burglary in progress. Period. After that, there was some kind of exchange and there was gunfire and the suspect was shot deceased. Atlanta Police
I
Deputy.
accept.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like what happened here is the guy was talking. Oh, definitely one of those. But it sounds like the guy was talking, and he might have just. It's a thing that happens when you conversate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah, when you conversate in Atlanta.
The GBI says the deputy followed the man as he walked away along an unpaved gravel road. The man stepped off the road into some woods as the deputy approached. The deputy got out of the cars, found the man in the woods. While in the woods, the deputy and the man had an altercation, and during this time, the deputy shot the man. The suspect was taken to the hospital where he later died. Whoops, this is a DOT, not a DRT.
He got too far.
The deputy was also injured, but he is expected to be okay, authorities said. Okay,
so the deputy was injured, but it never said anything in here about the suspect having a firearm. I don't get it twisted. I'm still pretty comfortable with putting him down. I'm still pretty comfortable with that. I do not subscribe to the theory that you should have to be in immediate danger to defend yourself. That's the law. It's wrong. Somebody robbing your house and continuing to you are in continued threat of suffering irreparable harm until that person is stopped. And yes, under the category of irreparable harm, I include the theft of your property. Theft is murder.
Yeah. Death by 1,000 cuts. You're stealing a portion of my life away from me.
And Rod says, but he was only stealing the dude's stuff. Sure, that's adorable. They like to ask the question, is your stuff more important than somebody's life? Yes.
Yeah, and apparently they agree with me because they broke into my house. Like, most people, Chris notwithstanding, most people are not actually looking for an excuse to shoot somebody. Most people are going to avoid that situation at absolutely all costs, okay? Like, if I were to get robbed...
I haven't shot anybody in 10 years, man.
Like, if I were to get robbed, what would most likely happen is that I would just give them the money, walk away.
11 in April.
I understand. However, I want to have the option, like that whole self-defense thing is, and in a case like this where you come home and like you've got it on camera that somebody's stealing from you, Then they lead you down like a gravel road in the dark and hide in the woods and blindside you. And I'm making some assumptions. We don't know all the details here, but if you run down a dark alley or into some dark woods or whatever, there's a reason for that. You're trying to even up the odds.
Yep.
And also, I don't necessarily agree with it, but there's a reason why the law has taken such a hard stance on adults fighting each other, and it is because of what you said about the possibility of causing harm. All jokes aside, you and I could get into a fight and could accidentally do permanent injury or even death to one another. Now, I realize, you could do it on purpose just as easily.
Yes.
Okay.
But no, I understand. Well, and to your point, I've seen in Army training, we were doing hand-to-hand combat training one time, and it wasn't even full speed. Let's show off what we can do and really pound through and try to fight and win. It was a demonstration situation that just tweaked a little bit in the wrong direction, right? Female soldier was the demonstree with the instructor, and the instructor was demonstrating an armbar break escape maneuver from a ground grapple position. And when he went to cross from having her in his mount to, or no, he was in a side mount and went to cross to a mount, and she tried to shift in the wrong way, and his foot slipped, and he landed. And when he landed, she posted her elbow at the wrong time, so he landed on her. Oh no!
You killed the audio banging the desk.
Oh no!
No,
I
stop
didn't do it
banging the
again.
desk.
Okay, well, anyway, she's fine now. And her arm grew back. So
Alex from Polytech, y'all, if you're not subscribed to Polytech, they just came back to YouTube. They're in the club now, man. They
got the badges.
They got the badge.
Those thinking badges. We've got community strikes to prove our intent.
But go check them out. They're
we should get little community strike badges.
Right. But go check them out. They're good people. But Alex says that there's a good chance that the cop will get charged. They'll say he hunted the guy. That it was some kind of a man trap situation.
It depends on whether or not he was black. If it was a white guy, then he's fine.
Oh, also depends on the color of the officer.
Yes.
All right. White cop, black bad guy.
He's going to hell.
Yeah. He's going to get charged.
Now, if it's a black cop and a white bad guy, he'll get a statue.
Well, no, I already know that didn't happen because we heard about it on the news.
Fair enough.
So look, and maybe Alex, you're being a little sarcastic, or maybe you're being completely serious. Well, look, he's got that dry British humor. Okay, it's a thing.
Yeah, but
But
I can tell you from personal witness, he is not a dry Brit.
No.
I will raise a Guinness with Alex anytime.
No, man. For a guy that's like 140 pounds, he could just like swim through alcohol. It's amazing.
If it's an Asian cop, then the left gets all confused on what to do about it.
So anyhow, but
Alex says, I have no faith in the Atlanta DA. Oh, you mean Fannie? The purple sausage, Fannie Willis?
But it's entirely possible. Like, I get his point. And it's not that there are not things that... Like, you've showed me enough of those auditor videos for me to understand that police routinely overstep their authority.
Oh, yeah.
To a terrifying degree, in a way that a lot of us good people don't even consider.
And okay, I need to wrap it up. But let me hit this real quick. Something that I've found from watching a lot of the auditor videos, like Roswell, Georgia, is awful. Roswell's where they had the couple of chick cops that flipped the coin on whether or not to charge the one girl. They got busted out for freezing this kid. They took a 13-year-old kid and basically made him take his jacket off, stuck him in the back of a cop car, froze him up, basically tortured him. Roswell's had a bunch of infractions like that. But the thing that's terrifying from watching these auditor videos is there's basically two kinds of bad cops. There are the ones who have decided that they're willing to lie about the law because they expect that you don't know what the law is. And then there are the ones that don't know the law. And a lot of the times it doesn't matter what the intent of the officer is. When you get to the ones that don't know the law, they will then lie. They'll just make law up on the spot so that they can maintain some kind of
authority. It's authority.
Yeah, some kind of power.
Yeah.
And power, not authority. Because and here's the reason the distinction matters. A police officer has no authority over you at all whatsoever unless you are committing a crime.
DJ Scotty says we're live on his feed.
Did you do that or did we do that?
Did we do that?
I didn't do that.
I definitely didn't do that.
Maybe he's just sharing us with his people. I'm going to need a little explanation there, Scotty, because if I screwed up, I apologize. I don't know how I would have done that, though. We haven't done a show with you in way too long. Okay.
Oh, well, thanks, Scotty. You're awesome.
Scotty, we appreciate you, and we love you, baby.
Yeah. It's just for fun.
Before a police officer has any authority over you whatsoever, they have to have a reasonable articulable suspicion or probable cause under which they can initiate a detention or arrest. So, often they will say, well, you're a person of interest in an investigation, right? So, you need to provide ID. No. Not unless you can tell me what crime I have committed, I'm about to commit, or I'm suspected of having intended to commit, right? Oh, no, well, you're part of an investigation. Am I detained? No, you're not detained. No, you're not detained, but you have to give me ID. Nope. And even detained, until you're arrested, your ID is protected by your Fourth Amendment rights. You are secure in your person's properties and papers, except where there is a due warrant issued or probable cause. And even the reasonable articulable suspicion, gets a little fuzzy when you're talking about your Fourth Amendment rights and detention. But they do not have authority until you are the crime. So,
Rod gets the top comment for the day. He says, I don't even need an ID to vote, buddy.
That's right. Well, Rod, you do, because you're white, so you can get an ID easily.
Well, look, I was saying...
And you can afford one.
Like, I wasn't trying to spin you off. I was just saying that I've seen enough of those videos through you to understand that police do abuse their authority. And unfortunately, it has a tendency to be most effective on guys like us because we're generally law-abiding citizens. And you just can't imagine that a cop would bullshit his way through a situation, right?
Stryker says invoke the Seventh Amendment. Yeah.
But...
Yeah, if somebody wants to come and arrest, if an officer wants to effectuate an arrest, invoke your Seventh Amendment rights. Where's my accuser? I demand to face my accuser and be presented with the evidence against me.
But, all that being said, there are clearly some areas of the country, like Atlanta, where that anti-police sentiment is swung way too far. And it is one thing to say that, okay, we need clarity in policing. We need rules that everybody understands and that the cops have to follow. And Garrett Rolfe is going to get charged with murder because some drunk stole one of his weapons and attempted to use it on him. So,
Right.
as a matter of we talked about this at the time too. Like the mistake that the cops at Wendy's made here in Atlanta, they should have shot the dude sooner.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
they literally gave him every chance to not get hurt that day.
They were beyond justified to shoot him before they did. Just out of curiosity.
What are we curious about? Because I think it's time.
Yeah, we'll look at it later. All right. It is the weekend. Y'all be safe out there. It is going to be a cold one. Extra blankets and fuzzy socks, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mess around with the cold. And as per usual, get out there and have a good time, but be safe. Don't drive drink, don't fry bacon naked, sex, drugs, rock and roll, videotape, and farm animals. No two at the same time. We love you, and we'll see you Monday morning.